While all the points my opposition made are completely factually true, they are far from insurmountable with the right combination of timing, strategy, and skill. The J.H. Chapman Group has come up with an excellent analogy. Quote, "Going public is the financing alternative that most restaurant CEOs want to consider, but few choose. The reason? Going public for the first time, commonly referenced to as an initial public offering or IPO, is like riding a skateboard. If you have a certain level of skill, timing, preparation, and luck, you'll go much further and faster than you could ever hope. But if your timing is wrong, you run out of luck, or you ignore your coaching, you could wind up on the ground." End quote. Gunhe began with the argument that an IPO means a loss of control for management due to the need for board approval. A well-prepared company would recognize this as a potential issue and align the interests of the board with those of the manager through stock options. In this scenario, the interests of both the manager and the board will be on financial performance. It can be argued that this alignment of interest through stock options can actually increase management's control because the board members are aware it is in the manager's interest to financially improve the company. Next, it was argued that managers will focus on short-term rather than long-term goals in order to improve quarterly reports. The idea is that the manager recognizes the limited term he or she will serve, so focusing on short-term value-added activities are more monetarily beneficial to the manager and will become the course of action. While this is a legitimate idea, it is again sidestepped through an aligning of managerial and board objectives through a stock option. Cost is one of the most referenced issues for going public. Going public is a costly process. However, is it any more costly than a different project the company may undertake? Even if the company were to avoid such costly projects in general, it takes great expenditures to make great amounts of money. Proper financial planning can alleviate some of the cost pressure, and the understanding that large sums will be available post-IPO put the upfront costs into perspective. The most important factor is preparation for the IPO, including assurances the firm has the money to undertake the project. According to Jennifer Lindsay in her book The Entrepreneur's Guide to Capital, the ideal candidate for an IPO is a small to medium-sized company in an emerging industry with annual revenues of at least $10 million and a profit margin over 10% of revenues. If a company is not in this position, why should it try to do an IPO? It will likely fail. Financial statements must be completed quarterly according to GAAP to take a company public. This can mean a large time expenditure to get the financial statements up to standard, as well as ongoing costs for the quarterly reports. Perspective is needed on this issue as well. Financial statements prepared according to GAAP are necessary for investors to purchase the company's stock. While burdensome, this is the means of securing funding for business operations, and therefore very worthwhile overall. While going public is a time-consuming, expensive process to complete, the long-term financial benefits of going public clearly outweigh the initial hurdle. Proper planning is vital to a successful IPO, including the alignment of managerial and board interests, and planning for the initial financial impact. However, it is exactly this foresight, timing, and preparation that will carry the company successfully through the IPO process.